Good morning, all of you children. Today we are here with a new topic and new chapter, that is physical features of India. In this chapter, we will start with the first unit, physical divisions of the Himalayas and its features. So let us continue with the chapter.
So this map I would like to explain about the major mountains of South Asia. So first understand my motive to explain this topic. There are two knots visible in the map. One is Armenian knot and the another is Pamir knot. Knot is the root of the mountain system. So Pamir knot is the root of the Himalayas, the Hindu Kush, Suleiman ranges, Tien Shan ranges, etc. Now let us understand about the major physiographic divisions of the Himalayas. Himalayas doesn't mean that there is a single mountain range. There are four major ranges in the Himalayan mountain system. We classify it as the Trans Himalayas, the Greater Himalayas, the Lesser Himalayas, and the Shivalik Himalayas. The Himalayas. The area now occupied by the Himalayas and the northern plains of India was under a sea called Tethys. It was an elongated and shallow sea sandwiched between the two giant land masses, the Angara land in the north, which is presently Asia, and Gondwana land in the south, which is presently India. The rivers flowing through these land masses deposited a huge amount of sediments on the floor of the Tethys. This depositional land masses slowly but steadily headed towards each other, owing to the vast earth movements, which is called the plate tectonic convergent plate boundary. The rivers who deposited sediments into the Sea of Tethys gradually got crumbled and folded up in the form of Greater, Lesser and Shivalik Himalayas. In this way, the Himalayan mountain system came into form. Briefly understand what is plate tectonics. Plate tectonics refers to the crustal movement of the earth, in which the plates move away from each other or come towards each other or move along the line of fault. They are called convergent plate boundary, divergent plate boundary, and transform boundary line. Indian plate and the Asian plate are the example of convergent plate boundary, in which Indian plate collide with the Asian plate and the Sea of Tethys got uplifted in the form of the Himalayan mountain system. The Greater Himalayas or the Himadri. Children, we call it Himadri because it is permanently covered with ice. It has no vegetation. It is vegetation-less region. The innermost Himalayan range is the world's highest with an average height of about 6,000 meters from the sea level. The snowbound range with asymmetrical folds has a width of 120 to 190 km. It is the most continuous of the Himalayan ranges and forms the Himalayas. In its northwest, it comes to a sudden end in the Nanga Parvat peak, while in the northeastern limit is the Namcha Barwa in Arunachal Pradesh. Its zagged terrain is owing to glaciation, which has given rise to many glaciers in this range. Some of its important mountain peaks are Everest, Makalu, Dhaulagiri, Annapurna, Nanga Parvat, etc. While some of the passes of the Greater Himalayas are Sipkila, Burzil, Zozila, Niti, Lipu, etc. The second range of the Himalaya is the Lesser or Middle Himalayas. It is also called Himachal because it is partly covered with natural vegetation. Its average height is 1000 meter to 4500 meter from the sea level, and width varies from 60 to 80 kilometers. It has highly rugged terrain due to immense pressure exerted during the Himalayan earth movement. All the rivers of the Greater Himalayas cut deep valleys through the Lesser Himalayas. Next most important feature of Lesser Himalaya is that it has beautiful valleys situated between Greater and Lesser Himalayas. These valleys includes Kathmandu Valley, Pokhara Valley, Kashmir Valley and Paro Valley, etc. Some of its highest mountain ranges are Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar, Nag Tibba, Mussoorie Range, Mahabharat Range, etc. The Lesser Himalaya is also important for its natural beautiful valleys. Such valleys include the Kashmir Valley, Kathmandu Valley, Pokhara Valley, Bano Valley, etc. It is also famous for its hill stations. All the important hill stations like Simla, Nainital, Darjeeling, etc. are situated in this Lesser Himalaya. The third range of the Himalaya is Outer Himalaya. It is also called Shivaliks. It is called Outer Himalaya because it is the outermost range of the Himalayas. It is full of natural vegetation because of its height up to 1000 meter from the sea level and plenty of rainfall. Its width varies from 15 to 50 kilometers. The Shivaliks are composed of tertiary sediments, that is loose unconsolidated materials such as boulder and clay. Hence, it is highly prone to earthquake and landslides. The Shivaliks emerged in the most recent phase in the Himalayan orogeny, that is during the Miocene-Pleistocene epoch. With anticlinal valleys and synclinal ridges, the hills have dense and wet tropical deciduous forest in the eastern part of Arunachal Pradesh. Along the foothills, rivers have deposited pebbles, gravel and sand. Such plains are called gravelled plain or Bhabar plain or alluvial fan. This deposition is called by different names in different parts of India. Now below Bhabar is a swampy marshy lowland called Tarai. It is full of natural vegetation and presently used for agriculture. The Tarai plain, formed of fine alluvium, is a long stretch of dense forest right from UP till the lower parts of Assam. The slopes in the south are steeper and bare in Shivalik Himalaya. These hills are referred to as Abor, Miri and Mismi hills in Arunachal Pradesh, while Jammu hills and Someswar hills in Bihar and Jammu and Kashmir. It has beautiful valleys situated between Lesser and Shivalik Himalayas. Such valleys are called Dunes, such as Dehradun, Kotli Dun, Patli Dun, etc. Children, guess the new mountain range. Is it new? No. This is part of the Himalayan mountain system. It is called Trans-Himalaya. See this beautiful dome-shaped mountain. This is Kailas range. A close view of Kailas range is here. This is the range which is quite peculiar in the sense that no one has been able to climb up over this Kailas mountain. The Trans-Himalayan zone, with a width of 40 km in its eastern and western end and a width of 220 km in its central part, this zone has important ranges such as the Jaskar range with an average height of 6000 meter and the Great Karakoram range which has very high peaks and large glaciers. Siachen Glacier is situated in this region. The Karakoram extends towards the southeastern to form the Kailas Range, the Ladakh Range, Jaskar Range, etc. Its important peaks are Mount K2, Hidden Peak, Broad Peak, and so on. The longest glacier is the Siachen, Nubra, and Hanja, situated in this region. Now we are going to study the classification of the Himalayas from west to east. We classify it into 4 divisions, namely Punjab Himalaya, Kumaon Himalaya, Nepal Himalaya, and Assam Himalayas. So let us understand about the first region, that is Punjab Himalayas. In the figure, extreme western part of the Himalayan mountain system. It lies between Indus and Satluj river. It has total area of 45,000 square kilometer, which includes Kangra, Spiti, and Lahul valleys. The range has bare and plateau-ridden northern slopes. In contrast, the southern slopes are covered with forests. See the central figure. This region is called Kumaon Himalayas. It lies between Kali and Satluj river with its total area of 38,000 square kilometer. Its important peaks are Nanda Devi, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, Trishul, and Mana. The third division of the Himalayan mountain system is called the Nepal Himalaya. It lies between Tista and Kali river. Its total length is about 800 km and area is about 1,16,800 square km. Some of the important ranges situated in this region are Darjeeling Himalayas, Sikkim Himalayas, and Bhutan Himalayas. It has some of the world's loftiest peaks such as Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, Chomo Lahari, etc. See in this figure, the extreme easternmost part of the Himalaya is called the Assam Himalayas. It lies between Tista and Brahmaputra river. Its total stretch is about 720 km and area is about 67,500 square kilometer. Some of the hills situated in this region are Garo Hills, Mizo Hills, Dafla Hills, Manipur Hills, etc. Children, I think you have understood the classification of the Himalayas from west to east. See the demarcation of rivers of Punjab Himalayas, Kumaon Himalayas, Nepal Himalayas, and Assam Himalayas. Children, see this map. The map is showing you about the mountain passes of the Himalayas. You are going to mark it on the political map of India, that is Karakoram Pass, Zojila Pass, Sipkila Pass, Nathula Pass, and Bomdila Pass. Now children, we will understand what is Yangfold Mountain and what is Old Fold Mountain. So you have already studied these two topics in the previous classes. So Yangfold Mountains are those mountains which have recent origin in the tertiary period, that is 65 million years old geological period, while the Old Fold Mountains had originated long ago in the past, that is 300 to 400 million years old. It is called Precambrian period or Cambrian period. Second point, Yangfold Mountains are higher than the Old Fold Mountains, while the Old Fold Mountains are lower than the Yangfold Mountains. Next point, most of the Yangfold Mountains have pointed peaks due to glaciation, while the Old Fold Mountains have rounded peaks or uneven terrain peaks due to rapid wind action and riverine erosion, since the geological periods of the earth. Next point. Youngfold mountains have a steeper slope and deeper valleys, while the oldfold mountains are highly prone to erosion caused by running water and wind. These mountains have gentle slope. Example of youngfold mountains are Rockies, Andes, and Alps mountains, while the example of oldfold mountains can be Aravalli, Appalachians, Ural Mountains, Khingan, Drakensberg, etc. We studied the differences between the youngfold mountains and the oldfold mountains. You also studied that the Himalayas are youngfold mountains. Can you give the evidences that the Himalayas are youngfold mountains? There are number of evidences behind it. For example, the height of the Himalayas are still increasing by 2 cm annually. Next point. The rivers are still in the young stage and are deepening their valleys. Next point. The region is prone to earthquake and volcanicity. It means the tectonic forces are still active. Next point. The fossils found in the Himalayan rocks are of recent origin. It means they are of 10 to 60 million years old. It is the recent period or geological part of the Earth's history. Last point. It is a highly unstable zone on the Earth. You might have experienced the recent earthquakes, which are quite common in the Himalayan region. Thus, we can say that the Himalayas are youngfold mountains. Children, thus we are coming to the end of this topic, the Himalayan mountain system. We studied about the features of the Himalayas and its different ranges, that is Greater, Lesser and Shivalik Himalayas, as well as its classification from west to east called the Punjab Himalayas, Kumayu Himalayas, Nepal Himalayas and Assam Himalayas. We also studied about the differences between youngfold mountains and oldfold mountains, as well as how can we say that the Himalayas are youngfold mountains. See you in the next class with an interesting topic, that is the Northern Plains. Thank you all of you.